Good morning, traders. So we're still using the Bill Williams for our analysis and looking at the Dow Jones this morning. So starting off with the weekly, and you can see how we had a nice long bounce off the bottom here, then a smaller candle, and then another large candle. So you could see this candle as an exhaustion candle on the weekly, straight into a level. Remember what I say, each one of these tails tells a story, and that is the weekly level that we kind of flirted with for 2 days, and we'll look at that on the 4 hour. It'll be a lot clearer there. So the question is where to from here. Now, my bias is for us to have a pullback. Okay, and I've been saying it most of last week, so I'm looking for shorts. The other question on my mind though is how far this pullback is. Is this just a sort of a retest of a breakout, and then we continue moving to the downside? If that's the case, we've got a very big measured move. But I also would like to see us sort of just really a little bit more, sort of test this level, get back above it, into a Fibonacci zone. At this stage, we are nowhere near any Fibonacci's. Okay, so if we look at it this way, we're at the 50%. But I'd prefer us to be at the 61.8, which kind of closes this gap as well. Okay, so yeah, let's get rid of that and let's get down to the other time frame. So you can see how the daily we had a big green candle, then smaller, until we had 3-day range here. So it's 1, 2, 3, and for all intents and purposes, we are at the bottom of this range. Okay, there are no real levels that I can see at this stage, except for that one, which is quite far away. And you can see how we're bouncing off the alligator here as well. And if we do close lower today, that'll give us a daily fractal. So daily fractal there, and those will be the two daily levels we're looking to break in order to get some traction in a direction. Okay, so for now, before we just drill down, let's just get our trend lines in. So that's the first trend line, and that is the next trend line. So what we have here is a rising wedge. It is off a level, and that level is the top of the alligator. Okay, we look at the oscillator here. It is grouped in the overbought territory. And if we look at the awesome oscillator, we are below the zero, which indicates that this is potentially just a pullback. Okay, so let's just get down to the 4 hour, because now we can start looking in detail as to what's going on. So you can see how this weekly level at the top here, together with the 4 hour 200 EMA, was the level to watch for. Okay, and that 4 hour 200 EMA is often something which almost always plays out. Very rare that it sort of gets breached straight away. Okay, so a lot of times it may just get above it and then come back down and back up, and it sort of flirts with it like it's doing it at the moment. So there are two ways of looking at this right now. On the 4 hour, we do have a wedge forming. Okay, however, we came back, we tested the alligator, came back to try to break through this level, we failed, we're back at the alligator again. Oscillator is grouped to the downside. Remember what I said on the daily for the awesome oscillator, that the daily we're below the zero, which indicates we are still in a downtrend. However, on the 4 hour, we are above the alligator. So you're above the awesome oscillator here, above the zero line, which is indicating that we are still in an uptrend. But the awesome oscillator and the alligator sort of correlate. So you can see we are above the alligator, so the trend is essentially up. We should be looking for a long entry. Okay, my comment earlier in the beginning of this video, looking for shorts, not at this level, but I'd like to see a bit of a bounce back, probably more than likely close the daily gap, then see what price action does, look at it on the hour or the half hour, and that would give us the indication we're looking for. Okay, so for now, this wedge is not something that we want to play to the short side. I am taking the opinion that we are at a pretty big weekly level, and we've had 1, 2, 3 attempts at getting through. We've failed. We are now flirting with this fractal, 4-hour fractal. If we do close below the 4-hour fractal or the 4-hour bar, that would give me some confidence that we're looking for some downside. But again, not looking for downside from the level we're at now. Want to see a bit of a rally, and then we get in. Okay, so let's get in for the hour so we can see what we need to do. Okay, so putting it all together, if we look at the hour, it is messy. Okay, we are below the alligator, above the alligator, below the alligator, above the alligator. This is a total mess. Okay, we have, I suppose we haven't closed below this level just yet. We are flirting with it. And I just want to see if there's another area that we can pick up here. Nothing apart from there, but that's very far. That would be the, okay. So there's our inside tail. Okay, that fractal there is pretty much, we're flirting with it, but we've also broken it. So we used it on Friday, but we're now below it. We're at the next fractal level, which is here. Okay, the one after that is pretty much down there. I'm picking up that fractal there. Okay, so those are my 3 levels. And for now, I would expect us to start rallying back up to the alligator. Okay, possibly get even higher, but that would be my initial take, is to look at the opening area here. That would be my initial take. Okay, so let's just get down to 30 minutes, and then we'll share my plan for the day. I'll get rid of all the noise now. Okay, so this area that we're in right now is fairly significant to me. We do have inside tail here. We've got a moving average, 200 moving average as well. But I'm not 100% sure that we have a level that we can trade off. So concerning thing for me is a break below this area. This is where my view on looking for a short is just getting strengthened. The fact that we've broken below this basically brings it into a potential double top. We've had a half-hour close, and we're busy testing this break at the moment. So not an area I want to be short in down here. We're too far from the alligator. I want us higher up for that. So looking at the daily, we are in a downtrend. Looking at the 4-hour, could be a potential for reversal. Looking at the hour and the half-hour, we are just all over the place, and you should be looking for trades on a daily basis. So the question on my mind right now is, what is this going to do? So I would be very tempted to look for a bounce, so a trade to the upside. But I want to see some price action that tells us so. So remember, we're looking for either a Wiseman number 1 type setup like this, okay, or alternatively, we're looking for a inside bar. There's an inside bar there, or an engulfing bar. There's an engulfing bar. Yeah, so those are the kind of 3 patterns that we're looking for. And if we can get a double bottom like we had here, that would also add fuel to the fire for a move to the upside. But the fact that we're below the alligator is, in my mind anyway, is pretty critical. Okay, so if we were going to take a long, which is what I'm looking at, the first trade of the day is more than likely going to be a long, but it's not going to be a long that I want to hold for very long. Excuse my attempt to play on words there. The measured move is played out. Measured move was straight onto the 200 EMA. So this is looking like an area that we need to be looking for a long entry, but my long entry, if we just get back to our, is really just another attempt, will be a move to come and test this alligator break. Watch the oscillators group back up there, and we get back into this area here. And why I'm saying that area is because that is the norm when it comes to gaps. We first run up, we test this environment, and then we fall off. Okay, now what we've got to realize is that we are down 200 points from Friday's close. Okay, so almost 1% at the moment. Okay, so I think that's kind of my play for today. I'm probably looking for a short-term long, which would be a scalp, and that scalp you're going to have to watch the price action for it, because I'd like to say that this 23.8 or 23.900. Sorry, is that? Yeah, so 23.900 would be a fairly decent area to get into, and that would be the target area. We do have we've got one wise man number one here, and we've got another one forming at the moment on the hour. Remember, in order to play the wise man, we are looking for a break above the top of the bar. Okay, so there is a lot of deviation here from the alligator. So this, to me, is looking like a long entry, and my gut is telling me that it's a long into this zone here of 23.900. We could go all the way back up and close the gap. I mean, that's not impossible. Not impossible at all. And your stop loss for the wise man trade would pretty much be 40 points. So you can put a sizable trade on with a pretty low stop loss. So that's kind of my view of this at the moment, is looking for a long in this area here. Obviously what we're wanting is a break above this 12-minute fractal here. Okay, and you can see here, here's two other wise man number ones here, two pin bars here on Friday, which basically just told you that this is going on. This is on the 12-minute. Okay, and I find the 12-minute to be pretty reliable for me anyway. Okay, so yeah, so I think that that's my trade for today. I'm not going to look at this long until a little bit later on, though, because we may just shoot through still. So we may still come back down. There's a lot of tails on the inside here. So if I move that one, if you look there, you can see all these tails here. So there's a lot of congestion to further down. There's no real long-term level on the 4-hour. Nothing to the left at all. Okay. So yeah, so that's kind of my view at this moment. Part of me is also saying on the 4-hour that this could be a move to the upside. Before we close off, let's just have a quick look at the ichimoku. That'll tell us a little bit more. Okay, so we've got 4-hour Kijinsen right here where we are. Everything else is still bullish. The daily, nothing really, but we are heading for a crossover. I just don't like the alligator on the daily. Sorry, the oscillator. On the 1-hour, we are below the cloud, and we've had a crossover. So that's bearish. Okay. So yeah, that just reinforces my view. Looking for a long somewhere in this area, but just pay attention and wait for the European Open before you take the trade. So let this thing play out to the downside, because Europe will more than likely gap down as well, then rally a bit, gap down, find a base, and then hopefully move the upside. That would drive this market up as well. Okay, so yeah, that's my view today. long, but I think it's a short-term long up to the high of today. If we do get through the high of today, then you can look at the gap close. That may be a 2-day long that we can take. But when we're back up at this area, I think I would still be I would look for a short again. Okay, and the simple reason for that is high, double top there, double top target played out. Then we rallied, but we created a lower high. Okay, lower high, and oscillator created a higher high. That to me is we are trending to the downside, and this target played out perfectly. There it is there. Okay, so that's me for today. Looking for a reason to get long, and it's going to be a pretty tight stop loss, and I'm expecting it to be just a short-term move back to test either the high of today or a gap close. Okay, anyway guys, that's my view on the Dow for today. I hope that helps, and if you are trading to the long side, just keep the stops tight, and hopefully you're not going to jump in short at this level. There's nothing here. This is really turning out to be a potential widening number one here, and we have 1 minute left in this candle, so a break above it is definitely going to give you a trade. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. Hope that helps, and I'll catch up with you later. Enjoy your day. Cheers for now.